What is going on? Welcome back to another video. Now in this video I'm going to be talking about tips for trophy hunting. I'm going to give you 5 tips for beginners / intermediate trophy hunters. These are tips for those who have maybe been trophy hunting for a while, maybe a couple of years, or you're still new, you're still trying to build up your knowledge on how to be the best trophy hunter going in the area, in the land, whatever you want to call it. Let's get started. So before I get into this video, I just want to say I've actually made a video prior to this which is giving my 5 tips for a completely beginner trophy hunter, which talks about a few key things which I'm not going to readdress. They may come up a little bit, but all in all I think you should go check that video out as well. The link will be in the description down below. Okay, so let's get started with tip number 1. So tip number 1 is to pick up a PS Vita. I have one here somewhere, prepared. Here it is. Bit dusty. Get yourself a PS Vita. They are not expensive now at all, guys, and pretty much whenever you pick up those cheap, easy platinum trophies, a lot of them have stacks these days, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit more detail in a minute. But basically, stacks are so you can buy a game, and a lot of these games will have a platinum trophy for the PS4 and then a platinum trophy for the PlayStation Vita for the same price. So you may pay, £4, $5, $6 on a game, and a lot of the time those games actually have a stack for the PS Vita as well, so you can pick up an extra platinum trophy. I've looked at my stacks and I've split up my trophies from PlayStation 4 to PlayStation Vita, and as you can see I've earned a lot of trophies from PlayStation Vita which are just from stacking games. So make sure you do that. These are not expensive at all now. People are afraid to buy these and I don't understand why. I paid £90 for mine in 2017. You can pretty much pick these up for about £60 to £70, $80 to $90, which is not even this price of 2 AAA games. It's literally going to be the price of one PS5 game in a couple of months time. So if you want to get more trophies, I'd recommend picking this up. I'm not sure how it's going to work going for the PS5, but for the PS4 there's at least 200-300 games which you can stack with PlayStation Vita. So tip number 2 is to look at regional accounts and regional stacks. So a stack, for those who don't know, is basically when a game has more than one platinum trophy. For example, it has one on the PlayStation 4 and it has one on the PlayStation Vita. Also, we now have North American accounts, region accounts, and European and Asian. So for example, most games that come out by Radlakia Studios, they will have 6 stacks to them. They will have the North American, so that will be the PlayStation Vita and the PlayStation 4. They will have one for the European, the same for the European, and the one for the Asian. Some even go as far to have Japanese and Hong Kong trophy lists as well. These are quite hard to set up, I'm not going to lie, especially with the PlayStation Vita, but it's still worth doing. I personally have a North American and a European account. It didn't take very long to set up a North American account at all, and also basically the only thing to bear in mind is you have to buy, for a lot of them, for North American or European, you have to buy vouchers. You can't use your credit cards from your European credit cards on North American accounts, but you can buy vouchers from places like PlayAsia.com, and it really isn't difficult to do, so I'd highly recommend doing that. This is a way basically combining with a Vita from getting 1 platinum trophy to getting 6 for the same game. So when you're getting games that have 20-minute platinum trophy, you can play them 6 times. I know a lot of people know this already, but I feel like as a beginner it's something that you should know. The Asian account's a lot harder to set up, so I'm not going to give too much details on that, but especially for European, North American, you can set these accounts up very easily, and they're definitely worth doing if you want to get more platinum trophies. It's worth noting that the initial guide I did was basically 5 practical tips that you can physically do to get more platinum trophies. This guide's sort of split in half. There is 3 practical tips that you can earn that will help you get more trophies, and there's 2 which are quite philosophical, which I feel like need to be said. So I've given you 2 physical, and this next one is a physical advice as well, and that is to make sure you read guides before you play them. Now this can sometimes give you some spoilers and ruin games, so it's worth, you have to weigh up the pros and cons, but on a whole, especially if you're going to be playing a game that has missable trophies, you need to know what they are. So what I would recommend doing is, go on PSN profiles and just bringing up the guides for the game, seeing what's included, what the online trophies are, the collectibles, the missables. The 2 worst trophies for me that you don't want to miss, obviously just missable collectibles and then just missable things that you can't replay through chapter select. So if you're playing a big linear game, you need to make sure that you can achieve those missable trophies as you're playing. If you don't want to do that, that's fine, but if you have to play through another playthrough of a 60-hour game because you didn't pay attention, that's not for me, and that's not going to help you efficiently get platinum trophies and get more trophies, and that's what this video is about. So make sure you read a guide before you play a game. Alright, so in my first video of this topic, I spoke about the leaderboards and how people can be addicted and how it can be fun claiming the leaderboards. And what I'm going to say for this one, this is a bit of a odd advice, which is if you're very competitive, don't collect platinum trophies. Don't be collecting trophies because you're competitive. Seriously, it's not worth it. You don't gain anything from it. If you're really competitive and you love being competitive, find something that's going to give you more of a reward. So for example, if you are really competitive at this, maybe pick up a sport which is going to give you more reward, or maybe spend more time studying at school so that you can better yourself and be competitive in that way, or maybe spend more time at work being competitive so you can earn more money. This may be controversial, but I just think I've been collecting platinum trophies for a long time. I enjoy it a lot, but I've seen how a lot of people have sort of transcended into that sort of level of not being happy playing the games because all they're doing is just, they use the excuse, oh, I'm really competitive and that's why I have to keep collecting trophies, but ultimately that shouldn't be the case. You shouldn't be doing it because you feel inclined, because of your competitiveness. I'm telling you now, my advice to you would be, seriously, if you think you're really competitive and you're getting a bit hooked on this competitive side, that you're not going to be rewarded for it. So if that's the only reason why you're doing it, really have a think and evaluate if it's worth doing, because there's other revenues that you could be doing. You could be reinvesting your competitiveness to ultimately gain more success in your life, because being the top 1, the top 10, the top 100 in the world for collecting trophies isn't going to make you any happier. I mean, look at the people who are, look at the big names who actually are public. They don't look very happy if you ask me, you know, and dedicating your entire life to this isn't going to make you happy. So I just feel like we should just say that. I know a lot of people know this, but there's a lot of addiction in the trophy hunting community. There's a lot of people who are just so obsessed they can't even explain why they collect these trophies. So just really think about it. Like, think why you're doing it and think, am I doing it for the right reasons? And yes, I know I told you this was going to be philosophical, or, you know, talking about emotions and feelings. That brings you on to tip number 5. If you're not enjoying it, stop. This seems so obvious, but I think the key thing we have to sort of loop back to is the fact that collecting trophies and playing games is a hobby, is it not? So if you're not enjoying a hobby, should you be doing it? So that's what I would say. You know, a lot of people get so obsessed with this sort of stuff that it really ruins their gaming experience, and you know, it's a hobby first. It's a hobby first and foremost. And if you're just playing games you aren't enjoying because you want easy platinum trophies, just don't be that guy. You know, nobody cares, and you're just ruining essentially your life, because you're taking away what precious time you have to invest in something that you aren't enjoying. And sometimes it's hard to take a look back and say, I played 50 games this month and I haven't enjoyed any of them, so why am I doing it? You know what I mean? And we're all guilty of this. We all do things. I'm just trying to make you think about, you know, what's going on, and I'm just telling you to have fun. You know, gaming's about having fun. You know, I love gaming. I love collecting trophies. I'm not saying people who collect trophies don't have fun, but I'm saying just don't let it consume your life if you aren't enjoying it. Because sometimes I'll play a game and I'll think, I didn't enjoy this. And I feel like as I'm getting a bit older, I'm getting a bit more wise, I'm getting a bit more self-aware, I would say, I'm starting to stop play certain games. So for example, I don't play games that require an entire guide anymore. So a game that, say, is an easy platinum trophy but it takes 4 to 8 hours to complete with a guide, I don't play them anymore. I don't enjoy them, and I know that, and I will not play them anymore. And I'm just telling you, just to learn and play what you enjoy. It sort of loops back to the first video, but play what you enjoy, and if you're not enjoying, stop. It's like gambling. If this fun stops, you stop. Alright guys, that's it for this one. A bit of a mixture of physical, practical hacks. Just to summarise, so get yourself a Vita. You really need it to get a Vita if you want to get more trophies. Look at your regional accounts. You know, it's not hard to set up a European or North American account, so you can easily do that. Thirdly, make sure you read a guide before you start playing games. It will really help you in the long run to avoid those missable trophies that, to be honest, you don't want to be missing. Of course, if you don't want to have the game spoiled, that's absolutely fine. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying just bear in mind, if you're going to be playing a 100-hour game with missable trophies, it's kind of worth to get the missable trophies, in my opinion. Fourthly, don't be obsessed with the leaderboards, and if you are obsessed with the leaderboards because you're competitive, maybe think about reinvesting your competitiveness elsewhere into something more productive for your life, because collecting trophies isn't that productive for your actual life. And finally, play games that you enjoy. Make sure they're fun. If you're not enjoying playing terrible games, don't play terrible games. Take 2. And that's it for this one, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Don't forget to turn that notification bell to stay updated with my content. I really appreciate it. If you want to have a conversation with myself, with anybody else on the YouTube, feel free to join my Discord. We're always talking about general games, memes, and of course, trophy hunting. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.